Ladies and gentlemen, there's a saying that pressure makes diamonds, but it can also crush those unprepared for its weight. Every one of us at some point in our lives will face moments that feel unbearable. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to prove yourself, the pressure to survive, it's real. But here's the truth: pressure isn't designed to break you, it's designed to reveal what you're truly made of. So how do we handle it? How do we not only survive pressure, but thrive in the face of it? Today, I want to talk to you about how to handle those moments of intense pressure and rise above them. The first step to handling pressure is to understand that it is not your enemy, but your ally. Pressure is something that we're all going to face at some point in life. There's no escaping it. Whether it's pressure from your career, relationships, or your personal goals, it's inevitable. But what separates those who succeed from those who fall short is how they handle it. Most people have been conditioned to believe that pressure is a sign that something is wrong, that it's a signal to retreat, to back down, or to play it safe. But let me tell you something: pressure is not there to break you, it's there to make you. We live in a world that promotes comfort as the ultimate destination. Everywhere you look, you're being sold the idea that life is about finding ease, about doing what's convenient, and about avoiding discomfort at all costs. But let me ask you this: what has comfort ever done for you? When have you ever grown, improved, or elevated yourself by staying in your comfort zone? The truth is, greatness isn't birthed in comfort. It's forged in the fire, in the crucible of pressure. Pressure reveals what you're truly made of, and it tests the limits of your endurance, your strength, and your willpower. Imagine an athlete training for the Olympics. Do they get stronger by staying in their comfort zone, lifting the same light weights every day, or running the same easy laps around the track? Of course not. They get better by pushing themselves to their absolute limits, by increasing the weight, by running faster, by doing things that in the moment feel unbearable. That's how muscles grow. That's how endurance is built. That's how champions are made. So when you're faced with pressure, understand that this is your opportunity to grow. This is your moment to rise. Instead of running from pressure, you've got to learn to lean into it, embrace it, welcome it with open arms. When the pressure mounts and you feel like the world is closing in, remind yourself that this is the moment you've been preparing for. Pressure is the weight that life places on your shoulders to see if you've got the strength to carry it, and not just carry it, but rise under its weight. You see, pressure isn't there to crush you, it's there to elevate you, to bring out the best in you. When the world seems to be pushing against you, it's actually pushing you towards your potential, towards the person you're capable of becoming. Think of diamonds. They don't form in a vacuum, they're forged under immense pressure deep within the earth. The same goes for you. The pressures you face are the forces that shape you, that mold you into something stronger, something more resilient. And just like diamonds, you won't always see the results of that pressure right away. It takes time, it takes patience. But if you stick with it, if you endure, you'll find that what you once thought was a burden was actually your breakthrough. So don't shy away when the pressure is on. Recognize that this is your moment to grow. This is your time to evolve into the best version of yourself. Pressure doesn't define you, how you respond to it does. When you embrace pressure, you embrace the opportunity to rise above, to be stronger, to be better, and to become the person you were always meant to be. When you're under pressure, it's all too easy to let your mind spiral. You start thinking about things that are completely out of your hands, what might happen, what people might think, or how things could go wrong. You get consumed by outcomes that haven't even come to pass, and before you know it, you're overwhelmed, paralyzed by fear of what you can't change. This is where most people get stuck. They focus on everything they can't control, and in doing so, they lose sight of what they can. But the truth is, no matter what situation you're in, you always have control over something. And that something is you. It's your actions, your mindset, and your effort. That's where the power lies. You can't control how other people will treat you or how they'll respond to the things you say or do. You can't control whether someone else will give you an opportunity or slam the door in your face. What you can control, though, is how you show up. You can control how much you prepare for the moment. You can control your attitude when things don't go your way. You can control your determination to push through adversity. And that's what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who rise above it. The people who succeed are the ones who stay focused on what they can do, regardless of the circumstances. They understand that worrying about things beyond their control only wastes time and energy that could be better spent on action, on effort, on moving forward. It's not about ignoring the challenges or pretending like the obstacles don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and deciding to focus your energy where it matters most, on yourself and yourself. When you focus on what you can control, you start to take ownership of your life. You're no longer at the mercy of what others think, what others do, or how things might turn out. You're in charge of your own progress, your own growth, your own success. The minute you start worrying about what's outside of your control, you're handing your power over to something else. You become reactive instead of proactive. You start waiting for things to happen, hoping they go your way. But when you focus on what's within your control, you take the reins, you set your own course. You decide how you'll respond, how hard you'll work, and how much you'll fight for what you want. That's how you make progress, step by step, day by day. Not by controlling everything around you, but by mastering the things that are within your reach. So the next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by everything going on around you, take a step back. Ask yourself, what can I control right now, and focus your energy there. Whether it's how you choose to tackle a task, how much time you dedicate to your goals, or how you choose to react to a setback, keep your focus where it belongs on what you can do. The rest, let it go. It's not worth your energy. Pressure comes from a mind that's tangled up in the future or caught in the past. We spend too much time thinking about what could happen or regretting what already did. Our thoughts spin out of control, running wild with possibilities, both good and bad, and the weight of those thoughts is what starts to crush us. But the truth is simple. The only moment that really matters is the one you're in right now. This moment, this very second, is the only place where you have any real power, any real influence. You can't control what hasn't happened yet, and you can't change what's already done, but you can change how you show up right here, right now. The key to managing pressure isn't in worrying about what's coming next or fretting over past mistakes. It's about staying present. The mind works best when it's focused, when it's locked in on the task right in front of it. There's a certain power that comes with that kind of focus. When you're fully immersed in the present moment, everything else fades into the background. The worries, the doubts, the fears, they lose their grip on you because you're no longer giving them space to grow. Instead, you're giving all your energy and attention to the only thing that truly matters, the task at hand. Think about an athlete in the heat of a game. They don't win by keeping their eyes on the finish line the whole time. They win by being completely absorbed in each and every step of the race. They win by focusing on their form, their breath, their rhythm, and the power in their muscles. They win by staying present. If they were to let their mind wander, thinking about how far they still have to go, or worrying about whether they'll finish first, they lose focus. That's when mistakes happen, when pressure overwhelms. But when they stay locked in, taking the race one stride at a time, the finish line takes care of itself. In life, it's no different. We don't accomplish great things by worrying about whether we'll succeed or fail. We accomplish them by giving our best effort one moment at a time. When we're truly present, we unlock a strength and a calm that we didn't even know we had. Pressure can't touch you when you're fully in the now, because the moment you're in is the only moment that exists. Everything else is just a distraction, just noise. By quieting that noise and staying grounded in the present, we regain control. The future doesn't seem so scary anymore because you're not trying to live in it. The past doesn't hold you back because you're no longer chained to it. All that matters is this second, this breath, this decision you're making right now. Take a breath. Slow down. Let go of what's behind you and stop worrying about what's ahead. Focus on what's right in front of you and give it everything you've got. The rest will fall into place when the time comes, but for now, stay here. Stay in the moment. Stay present. And let the pressure slip away. Pressure is a force we all experience, but how we handle it defines who we become. You can either let it paralyze you, leave you frozen in place, or you can use it as a catalyst, as fuel to drive yourself forward. The choice is always yours. When the weight of expectations presses down, the easiest reaction is to let it crush you, to crumble under the intensity. But the truth is, pressure has a way of revealing what you're truly made of. It exposes your weaknesses, but it also uncovers your strength. In those moments when the stakes are high, when everything is on the line, that's when you begin to discover your true potential. It's in these situations that most people choose to retreat to avoid the discomfort, the uncertainty. But pressure, if used correctly, is an incredible motivator. It's in the face of pressure that you find out what you're capable of, and often it's far more than you ever imagined. When you're backed into a corner, when you feel like the world is closing in, that's when you can tap into a different part of yourself, a part that you didn't know existed. That's the part that digs deep, that refuses to quit, that pushes through every obstacle in its path. Pressure gives you an opportunity to tap into your inner strength and reach levels you never thought possible. Think back to the times in your life when the pressure was on. Maybe it was during a critical moment at work, in a personal relationship, or facing a challenge that felt insurmountable. In those moments, you might have felt overwhelmed, even doubted your ability to handle it. But somehow you made it through. And not only did you survive, but you came out stronger, more focused, more determined. You grew. That's what pressure does. It creates growth. Just like a diamond is formed under intense heat and pressure, your greatest achievements, your most profound growth often come from the times when the pressure is highest. But how do you turn that pressure into fuel? First, you have to embrace it. Don't shy away from the challenge. Welcome it. Know that pressure is a sign that you're moving in the right direction, that you're on the verge of something great. Next, use it to sharpen your focus. When the pressure is on, distractions fade away, and what truly matters comes into view. Use that clarity to your advantage. Let it heighten your concentration, allowing you to zero in on what needs to be done. Then let the pressure ignite your drive. When you're under pressure, you're not just coasting, you're pushing yourself beyond your limits. You're reaching for something more. And in those moments, your passion is either going to flicker out or it's going to burn brighter than ever. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you why you started in the first place. Let it push you to exceed your own expectations. Pressure doesn't have to be something you fear. It can be a powerful force that drives you forward, that pushes you to places you never thought you could go. It's not about avoiding pressure, it's about using it to fuel your ambition, to propel you toward greatness. Mental toughness is the silent strength that shapes the truly successful from those who falter when the heat is on. It's not about never feeling the weight of the world or never facing setbacks. No, it's about how you handle those moments when everything feels like it's crumbling around you. Everyone feels pressure, everyone encounters stress. But the difference lies in how you respond. Mental toughness is that internal conversation you have when things get tough, reminding yourself that quitting is never an option. It's the ability to look adversity in the eye and say, I'm not going anywhere. This kind of toughness isn't built in a day. It doesn't happen overnight or in moments of triumph. Mental toughness is developed in the quiet, in the small acts of discipline you perform every day. It's when you choose to show up even when you don't feel like it. It's when you push yourself in moments that seem insignificant, knowing those little victories are what will prepare you for the big challenges that lie ahead. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you resist the urge to take the easy way out, you are building a foundation of resilience. It's those small battles won repeatedly that create an unshakable strength within. Life has a way of testing you. It throws obstacles, distractions, and disappointments your way. But mental toughness is knowing that those challenges don't define you, they refine you. You learn to embrace the struggle, understanding that it's part of the process. It's knowing that no matter how difficult things get, you have the power to push through. You've done it before and you'll do it again. And even when it feels like you're at your breaking point, when every part of you wants to give up, you dig a little deeper. Because there's always something left in the tank. There's always another level you can reach when you're determined not to quit. Mental toughness isn't loud. It's not about being aggressive or overconfident. It's quiet, steady, and relentless. It's about having the confidence to keep going when the odds are stacked against you. It's the quiet refusal to let circumstances dictate your destiny. It's knowing that the tough times will pass, but the strength you gain from enduring them will stay with you forever. Tough people, those with mental toughness, don't crumble under pressure, they rise to meet it. And when the storm is past, they stand taller, stronger, and more prepared for whatever comes next. You see, mental toughness is more than just surviving, it's about thriving in the face of adversity. It's about proving to yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to rise above it. You don't crumble, you rise. You don't give in, you fight back. And when you emerge on the other side, you're not just intact, you're transformed, stronger, and more resilient than ever before. When life starts pressing down on you, it's easy to feel like you're in it by yourself. You begin to believe that you've got to carry the entire weight of the world on your own shoulders, that the only way to make it is to grind through it all by yourself. But that's not how we're built. We're not meant to take on all that pressure alone. The truth is, no one can achieve greatness entirely by themselves. Every single person who has reached the top, who has made a difference, who has left a mark on this world, had people behind them cheering them on, guiding them, lifting them up when things got tough. The first thing you've got to understand is that you don't have to be a lone wolf. That mindset will break you down faster than anything else. The world makes you think that independence is strength, but real strength comes from knowing when you need help and being brave enough to ask for it. It comes from surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, even when you've stopped believing yourself. Think about it. When the pressure is too much and your vision starts to blur, it's those people who help you refocus. They don't let you give in or give up. They push you to keep going when all you want to do is quit. That's why it's so crucial to have a circle of people who not only want the best for you, but who also understand the journey you're on. They've been there. They know the feeling of being overwhelmed by expectations, of trying to meet everyone else's demands while staying true to your own goals. These are the people who can give you perspective when you're stuck in the fog of doubt. They remind you of your strengths, your abilities, and most importantly, your worth. Because pressure can make you forget all of that. It makes you question whether you're capable of handling what's in front of you. But when you've got people who lift you up, who reinforce your belief in yourself, it changes everything. Look for mentors, people who've been through the fire, who face their own pressures and come out stronger on the other side. Their experience is invaluable because they've walked the path you're on now. They can offer advice and share lessons that you haven't even thought about yet. And their guidance can save you from making mistakes that could set you back. It's not just about finding people to talk to when things get rough. It's about having someone who can give you real, tangible support, someone who has the wisdom to see the bigger picture when you're too close to the problem to see clearly. Your friends and family play a role too. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation with someone who knows your heart, someone who's been with you through thick and thin, to remind you of why you started in the first place. They don't need to have all the answers. Sometimes they just need to be there to listen, to tell you that you're not alone in this. That kind of support can be the difference between giving up and pushing through the toughest times. Ultimately, no matter how driven, talented, or focused you are, we all need that network of people who refuse to let us fall. They become your backbone when you're too tired to stand on your own. They push you to see beyond your current struggles, to envision the future you're working so hard for. And that's the beauty of it all. You don't have to carry the weight of your dreams by yourself. When you surround yourself with the right people, they help you hold that weight, and suddenly the pressure becomes manageable. You can keep moving forward because you know you've got people in your corner, people who won't let you fail. When you're faced with pressure, it's natural to feel overwhelmed. It can feel like a force pushing down on you, suffocating your ability to think, act, or even breathe. But let me challenge you to shift your perspective for a moment. What if you didn't see pressure as something to be feared? What if you saw it as something to embrace? Something that could push you beyond your limits. You see, the way you frame a situation determines how you approach it. Pressure is not inherently a bad thing. It's the way we interpret it that often makes it feel unbearable. Think about it. When athletes step onto the field or into the ring, they know that all eyes are on them. They know they're expected to perform at their best, to rise above the competition and prove themselves. That's pressure. But do they see it as something to back away from? No. They see it as a challenge, an opportunity to demonstrate all the hard work, discipline, and preparation they've put in. Pressure for them is not a threat, it's the stage on which they perform their best. They don't shrink in the face of it, they rise. The same is true in your life. When pressure shows up, whether it's at work, in your relationships, or in the pursuit of your dreams, it's giving you a platform to grow. It's giving you the chance to step up and show what you're made of. How you interpret that moment will decide how you act. If you see it as an enemy, you'll retreat, you'll hesitate, and you'll hold back. But if you view it as an opportunity, you'll embrace it. You'll approach it with a mindset that says, this is my time to shine. Now, that shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It takes conscious effort to reframe how you see pressure. But it starts with a simple decision to view every challenge, every difficult moment, as a test of your resilience and your capability. When you do that, you move from a place of fear to a place of power. You stop seeing pressure as something that might break you, and instead see it as something that will build you. This isn't about pretending everything is easy. It's about recognizing that the pressure you feel is often a signal that you're stepping into something bigger. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond the familiar, beyond the comfortable. And that's where growth happens. That's where greatness is forged. So the next time you feel the weight of pressure, pause for a second and reframe it. Remind yourself that this is your opportunity to rise, to show what you're capable of. Approach it with excitement instead of fear, with determination instead of doubt. Know that every time you step into that pressure, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you can handle it. You're showing that pressure isn't something that defeats you. It's the fuel that drives you to be the best version of yourself. Handling pressure doesn't mean you have to push yourself to the edge, to the point where you feel like you're on the verge of collapse. In fact, pushing to the point of exhaustion, trying to carry the world on your shoulders without stopping for a moment to breathe, can often do more harm than good. Pressure is a part of life, especially when you're striving for something great. It's inevitable, but how you handle that pressure determines whether you'll succeed or fail. And one of the most important lessons in handling pressure is knowing when to step back, when to pause, when to catch your breath. It's not about being tough all the time. It's not about always keeping your head down and pushing through the storm without taking a moment to assess where you're at. No, sometimes the best way to deal with pressure is to retreat for a little while. You step back not because you're weak, but because you're smart. You're wise enough to understand that in order to come back stronger, sometimes you have to take a moment to regroup, recharge, and refocus. You see, taking a break doesn't mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean you failed or that you're incapable. In fact, it shows just the opposite. It shows that you have the self-awareness to know your limits and that you're in control of your journey. When you step back, it's not a retreat in the traditional sense, it's a strategic pause. You're gathering your strength, clearing your mind, and preparing for the next round, because make no mistake, life is a series of rounds and no one wins every single one without ever taking a break. The key is to make sure your break serves its purpose to prepare you for the next push, not to make you complacent or comfortable. But understand this, there's a critical difference between taking a break and quitting. Quitting means you've given up. It means you've let the pressure defeat you. It means you've decided that the obstacles in your path are too great to overcome. That's not what taking a break is. Taking a break means you're still in the fight, but you're giving yourself a moment to gather the strength you need to keep moving forward. You're still focused on your goal. You haven't lost sight of what you're aiming for. You haven't let the weight of the moment make you throw in the towel. When you're under pressure, it's easy to feel like you have to keep going no matter what, to keep pushing forward even when every part of you is screaming for a moment of rest. But listen, that's not sustainable. You're human. You have limits. And part of being successful, part of thriving under pressure, is knowing when to pause and when to push. That momentary pause can make all the difference between success and burnout, between giving your best and just going through the motions. So take that breath, step back if you need to, regroup, recharge, then come back stronger with more fire in your belly and more clarity in your mind. Because when you take that break, you're not walking away from the fight, you're preparing to win it. When the pressure mounts and it feels like the walls are closing in, believing in yourself becomes not just important, it becomes essential. Life has a way of testing us, of throwing challenges our way that can make even the strongest among us feel vulnerable. In those moments, it's easy to doubt your abilities, to question your worth, and to feel like you're not enough. But here's the truth, you have a history of triumph. Think about the struggles you faced before. Remember those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, yet somehow you found a way through. Each time you overcame an obstacle, you added another layer to your strength, another reason to believe in yourself. Self-belief isn't just a fluffy idea, it's a powerful tool. It's what allows you to stand tall in the face of adversity, to keep moving forward even when the odds seem stacked against you. When doubt creeps in, you have to fight back. It's not enough to just wish for success or hope things will get better, you need to take an active stance. Remind yourself of the victories you've achieved, both big and small. Every time you push through a moment of fear or uncertainty, you wrote a story of resilience. And that story, it's a testament to your strength. Imagine facing a daunting task, a presentation, a competition, a personal challenge. In those moments, self-doubt can whisper lies to you, telling you that you're not prepared, that you're not worthy, that someone else would do better. But let me tell you, those whispers are just noise. They are distractions meant to derail you from your path. You have to silence that noise and focus on your inner voice, the one that knows you've prepared, that you've worked hard, and that you have the skills necessary to rise to the occasion. Your belief in yourself is your greatest weapon against pressure. It empowers you to take risks, to step outside of your comfort zone, and to chase your dreams with fervor. When you trust in your abilities, you become unstoppable. Each time you choose to believe in yourself, you're not just lifting your own spirit, you're sending a powerful message to the universe that you are ready to claim what is rightfully yours. You are telling yourself, I am capable, I am strong, I can do this. And as you continue on your journey, remember that believing in yourself doesn't mean you won't face setbacks. It doesn't mean that every endeavor will be a smooth ride. It means that when challenges arise, you'll meet them head-on, armed with the confidence that you can navigate through whatever life throws your way. When the pressure intensifies, let your belief in yourself shine even brighter. Let it guide you through the dark, reminding you that you possess an inner strength that is unparalleled. Every time you face pressure, see it as an opportunity to prove to yourself just how resilient you truly are. Embrace the struggle, and in doing so, you'll find that your belief in yourself is the very foundation upon which you can build your dreams. Trust in your journey, and let that belief propel you forward into greatness. Pressure is a universal experience, something that each of us encounters at various points in our lives. It can come from work, relationships, or even the expectations we set for ourselves. But here's the truth: pressure is not just a burden, it's a powerful force that, when understood and harnessed, can propel you toward greatness. When you find yourself under pressure, remember that it often signifies that you are on the cusp of something remarkable. It's a signal that you're reaching for higher ground, pushing your limits, and striving for a transformation that could change your life forever. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, looking out at the vast possibilities that lie ahead. The height might feel daunting, and the pressure of that moment could overwhelm you. But what if you chose to see that pressure not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity? Every time you feel the weight of expectation or the stress of impending deadlines, remind yourself that this is your moment of potential. This is where growth happens. It's in these challenging times that your character is forged, your resilience tested, and your purpose illuminated. Pressure can act like a catalyst, igniting a fire within you that you may not have known existed. It forces you to confront your fears and doubts head-on. When you embrace the discomfort that pressure brings, you become more aware of your strengths and weaknesses. You begin to understand what you truly want out of life. You can either let pressure stifle your ambitions, or you can let it fuel your passion. The choice is yours. It's about shifting your mindset from one of defeat to one of determination. Every great achiever has faced moments of intense pressure. They've stood where you stand now, feeling the weight of their aspirations pressing down on them. But instead of shrinking back, they chose to rise. They turned that pressure into purpose. When you channel your energy into a clear vision of what you want to achieve, you'll find that the pressure becomes less about fear and more about focus. It sharpens your mind and aligns your actions with your goals. You begin to see that pressure is not just an external force, it's an internal motivator urging you to take that next step, to make that crucial decision, to take action. Turning pressure into purpose means taking proactive steps. It's about setting clear goals and breaking them down into manageable tasks. This is where the magic happens. As you tackle each small task, you begin to feel a sense of accomplishment. Each success builds your confidence and reinforces your commitment to your larger vision. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of your dreams, you begin to celebrate the small victories that pave the way for greater achievements. When you let pressure drive you, you transform what could be a paralyzing experience into a launching pad for your success. You not only learn to manage stress, but to thrive in it. You begin to view challenges as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. As you push through the discomfort, you cultivate resilience and adaptability. You grow stronger, more focused, and more determined. In essence, pressure becomes a powerful ally in your journey toward greatness. It nudges you closer to your dreams, urging you to step into your full potential. So the next time you feel that familiar weight upon your shoulders, remember you are on the brink of something extraordinary. Embrace it. Let it push you, challenge you, and ultimately lead you to the life you've always envisioned. In turning pressure into purpose, you find not just the strength to endure, but the inspiration to thrive. So when pressure knocks at your door, don't shrink. Don't let it rob you of your strength, your peace, or your potential. Face it head on. Embrace it. Rise up to meet it. Because pressure isn't here to defeat you, it's here to elevate you. And when you come out on the other side, you won't just be the same person, you'll be someone greater than you ever imagined. Thank you.